how not to quit our goals when everybody else seems to be quitting them. So, how can we do things differently? And in order to do this, I thought we should examine two things: the nature of our goals and the nature of ourselves. And if we examine them both, maybe we will find something in there together. So I started by examining the nature of the goals we set up. And if you notice carefully, most goals that we set up are weighty, as in they don't last. If we work very hard, we get them. Even if we get them, we know deep down that these goals are not going to last, because inherently, when you're running after something material, it is temporary. And so you work so hard, but what you get doesn't stay. So there is that problem. Goals are not specific, they're not measurable, so they're kind of like fluffy in the sense, I want to be a nice person, and I want to be a good person, or I want a good day, or I want to be a happier person. There's no tangible means. We don't have the knowledge to tangibly measure what is happy, what is good, there's no tangible knowledge. So just number one was the nature of our goals. The very nature of our goals is that they're not weighty enough. So take some humility, take some deep consideration to think that, could there be such a goal that does not get destroyed by change in time, place, and circumstances? The number two problem with the goals, the way I see it, is there is no supporting habits to kind of achieve those goals. For example, it's not like we don't dream big. It's just that we fall as low as our habits are. So, we may want to be a great person, we may want to be a healthy person, but we may not have the micro habits, the micro things in our day-to-day life to support that healthy lifestyle. So, you have to set the building blocks from the smallest level up. So in the same way, if you want to be a spiritual person, a so-called good person, whatever that means, what do you fix on the microscopic level? Like, what do you change in your lifestyle? That knowledge is missing. And that is the beauty, actually, as I look at it from a yoga perspective, that is the beauty of the Bhakti Yoga system, that this yoga system has inbuilt in it habits that support the achievement of the ultimate goal of life. Like, for example, you start with yama, niyama, literally means things that you do, the things that you do and the things that you don't do. With these supporting habits, then you can make steady progress upwards. But our goals these days, like, I want to achieve this kind of a job, or I want to get that kind of a relationship. I mean, what is the supporting habit for that? And you might speculate like, oh, I want to be different in this way or that way, but there's no evidence. But the yoga texts are presenting you supporting habits that have actually lasted the test of time. So, for example, those of us who practice Bhakti Yoga, some of the very primary, basic, entry-level habits are no meat eating, no eating of animals, so no cruelty. How can you cultivate a habit like eating animals and expect qualities like mercy and compassion to grow in your heart? The third problem with achieving our goals is that our mind is the center stage of our life. You may rebel and say no, but let me ask you, is how you feel about something an indicator of what you should do? Are your thoughts an indicator of what you should do? If yes, then your mind is the center stage of your life, because thinking, feeling, and willing are the activities of the mind. And when we make these things the basis of our decision making, and even the basis of us choosing what our goals is, then it is the mind that is deciding what to do. And mind being the center stage is very destabilizing, because the very fundamental quality of the mind is chanchalam himana Krishna. It's very chanchala, it's very flickering. It flies on two wings, the past and the present, always hankering for that which you don't have and wanting it in the future, and always lamenting for that what you probably had or didn't have. This is just the features of the mind. So when you pick goals based on how you feel or what your thoughts are, then they're bound to sooner or later crumble up. In a proper state of being, it is not the mind, it is the soul and its needs that determine what the goals are, which is what's dharma. That's exactly what dharma means. The mind and the senses are the bottom. The senses are the bottom of the pyramid. The mind's above it. The intelligence is above it, and on the top is the soul. But in our lives, it's turned upside down. So the senses are on the top of our life, like what feels good to me. The mind's the next level down, like, oh, this doesn't, I don't think this is right, like it's the second thing over. And the intelligence, all the intelligence knows is how to make money. We haven't really trained our intelligence in spiritual knowledge, spiritual lifestyle. So it's further down. And at the very bottom of it is a soul. Sometimes over a coffee table, we might think about the soul and its needs. But even if we think about it, we don't know what to do with it. So the pyramid of our life is upside down. The mind's the center stage. And that's the problem with our choosing of goals. The fourth problem is our lifestyle. Because our idea of lifestyle today is how fast can we move? How quickly can we achieve? Not so much how deeply can we perceive, how fully can we understand a situation. So our lifestyle, which in the yoga text is called, our lifestyle is primarily in the mode of ignorance, and that is known as rajas and tamas. And it's a matter for a different conversation. But just think, we're running really fast, but we don't know where we are going to. Now we have a to-do list, but we don't have a compass to our life, So we're just running, running, running. So our lifestyle is not so progressive. The fifth thing that I see is missing in our ability to achieve goals is a community to support what we want to achieve. See, we like to be soul achievers, lone warriors, lone wolves, whatever you want to call it. But actually, just like the famous saying, it takes a village to raise a child. In the same way, it takes a community to raise a successful person. And the community has to be, and a community, not just like, community doesn't mean just a bunch of people living in flats and where everybody does, like everybody does whatever they want and no one has any idea who's living next to them. That's not really a community. Community means there is togetherness through a central purpose. For example, like even if you want to be an addict, or if you want to be a drunkard, or if you want to be a criminal, you have to hang out with people of that kind. So communities, even in deterioration, they support you. In the same way, if you want to rise up from where you are, you need a community that supports it. But where are the communities? Just living in a colony of flats where everybody's living in their own homes, and you have a neighbor, but you don't really know who they are or what they do. So that doesn't really mean a community. Community means there's connectivity, there's connectedness towards a common goal. But where do we find that today? So you see, I was examining these five things, like I'll repeat them again, stumbling blocks in our ability to achieve the goals we want. Number one, the goals are not weighty enough. Our mind's the center stage of things. We don't have supporting communities. We don't have habits that support us, and our lifestyles in the mode of ignorance and passion. So these things are stumbling blocks in our progress. So if you really want success in the goals you pick, choose wisely. Don't pick goals based on your mind and your feelings and thoughts. Pick up a wisdom text. Like I recommend the Bhagavad Gita. Study it cover to cover. It is providing you timeless wisdom of different kind of goals you can have, no matter which planet you live on, no matter which species of life you're in. What are the different kinds of goals you can have, and what would be the result of those goals, and how to get to those goals. This year, as you write your goals, while you're writing goals based on how you feel and think, I recommend like picking up a wisdom text. For example, I pick up the Bhagavad Gita and study it cover to cover to actually get some genuine wisdom of goals that have stood the test of time. Wherein, along with the goals, you find the process, the entire process of how to achieve it, the habits that would support the achievement of these goals. And if you're looking for a community where you can actually learn how to apply this in your life, we have programs every week that you can come to learn more about how to apply it. So make it real for yourself.